Good morning and Jai Hind, children. Today I am going to revise the chapter microorganism. Alright. Children, as already you have studied in the chapter microorganism, the organism who are very small in size. Alright. And it is not possible to see them with naked eyes. So that is why they are known as microorganisms. Clear? All the microorganisms can be grouped in five categories. Get it? On the basis of the different properties, different characteristic features, we can categorize all the microorganisms in five groups, and these groups are: the first one is protozoa, alright? Second one is, yes, it is cedar fungi, and the third one is virus. Get it? Virus, fungi, protozoa, and two groups is, one is bacteria and the other one is algae. So these are the five groups of microorganisms. Get it? Algae, viruses, fungi, protozoa, and bacteria. Now you have to study about their properties, that what are the difference among these groups of microorganisms. Get it? So remember that in the chapter is explained algae. Algae are actually having pigment in them, especially the chlorophyll pigment in them. So that is why they are capable to do the photosynthesis. So most of the algae are able to do photosynthesis and synthesize their food. Get it? And looks green in color. Get it, children? Algae may be of single cell or multiple cell. So we can divide the algae into two groups. The one group is unicellular and the second one is multicellular. Some kind of algae are made up of single cell, okay, like nostoc, like volvox. These are the names of some unicellular algae, and some are multicellular, like Spirogyra is multicellular algae. Get it? Most of the species of the algae are not harmful. Means they are not responsible for causing diseases. Mostly, get it? So you can say that this group of microorganism is not harmful because they does not cause the disease in living organism generally. Get it, children? Now come to the second group, the bacteria. This is one of the largest group of microorganism, because different species, different varieties of bacteria are there. Okay, found in all over the world, and they are found everywhere, in soil, in water, in air. Get it? Inside the body of living organism. So bacteria are found almost all the places, and different varieties of bacteria are there. So we can again categorize the bacteria on the basis of their types. So they are again of three types, and these three types of bacteria are: the first one, bacilli. Okay? The second type of bacteria, the second group of bacteria is fungi. And the third group of bacteria is, yes, spider. These are the three groups, or you can say that three different types of bacteria are there. and these names are given to them on the basis of their shape, their appearance. Get it? Bacilli, foci, and spirula. Bacilli are especially rod shaped. Foci generally, yes, spherical in structure, and the spirula is especially the spherical. The spirula is actually the ribbon-shaped structure. While ribbon-shaped structure is there. Spirula. So the different bacteria have different shape, and on the basis of their shape, we can categorize them in these three groups: bacilli, foci, and spirula. Alright? Now, come to the next. Viruses. Actually, the viruses are the microorganisms who act as living and non-living, means connecting link between living and non-living, because they possess some of the properties of living and they possess some of the property of non-living. That is why they are termed as connecting link between living and non-living. Alright? As the viruses are outside any living cell, so they act as a non-living material. Get it? And as they come in the contact of any living cell, or when enter in any living cell, they becomes alive and they act as a living organism. Get it? That is why the viruses are also known as what? Connecting link between living and non-living. And the reason is simply because they possess some properties of living and some properties of non-living. Get it? Almost all the viruses are harmful because they are responsible for causing diseases, and not only in animals, also in plants. Okay, so the different diseases caused by viruses in plants and in animals in both the groups, and some of the examples are the polio is one of the example. Get it? AIDS is another example. So these are certain names of the viruses who causes these diseases. Get it? Now come to the next group, fungi. Fungi are also the group of microorganisms. They again are two types on the basis of number of cells. Some of the fungi are unicellular because their body is made up of single cell only, and some of them are multicellular because their body is composed of multiple cells. So mostly the fungi are multicellular, and some are only some are a few are unicellular. Get it? The body structure of the fungi are actually like a small plant, but they are not plant because they don't have chlorophyll in them. They are not green in color, and that is why they are unable to do photosynthesis because of the absence of chlorophyll pigment in them. Get it? That is why they obtain their nutrients from dead and decaying materials. They grow on dead and decaying plants and animals and absorb the nutrients from that dead body. Get it? And grow them. And one of the very common example of fungi is mushroom. Get it? Yeast is another example. Yeast is also a fungi which is unicellular, and mushroom is also a fungi which is multicellular. Get it? Everyone understood? Some of the fungi are disease causing, and some of the species of the fungi are beneficial because they are used in certain places. Okay, like for making medicines, they are used in the bakery industry. They are used in fermentation and all. So some species of fungi are, you can say, they are useful, are beneficial, and some are responsible for causing diseases. Get it? Understood? You must have heard about the fermentation process. Is it? When the fruit juice kept in a container and the supply of oxygen gets stopped there, so yeast get grow there and they respire, and as a result they convert the fruit juice into what? Alcohol. And a gas released, that is carbon dioxide gas released. Alright. Yeast is also used in bakery industry to make the bread and cakes fluffy, spongy. Get it? So the same happened there. They respire anaerobically, means in the absence of oxygen, and produce carbon dioxide. Alright, and that carbon dioxide get trapped in the dough of bread, and which gives spongy texture, fluffy texture to our bread and our cake. Get it? Some fungi are edible, like mushroom. It is rich with certain nutrients, so people used to eat it. Get it now? Now, the next group is protozoas. Protozoas are also an unicellular microorganism. They all are unicellular microorganism, and some of the species are responsible for causing certain diseases. So you can say that they are harmful. Mostly the protozoas are harmful because they causes the diseases. Alright, everyone. And one of the very common disease that you must have heard, malaria, caused by a protozoa. Get it? The microorganism or the germs who causes the malaria is Plasmodium. What is the name of that organism? Plasmodium. And this belongs to which group of microorganism? Yes, it belongs to protozoa. Okay, just like that, many are there examples of protozoa who causes the diseases in human beings and the animals. Get it? And some other examples of protozoas are amoeba, paramecium, and all. Understood everyone about the protozoa? So these are the different types of microorganism. Some of them are useful, some of them are harmful. Get it? Now we will discuss about the microorganism on the basis of their nature, that either they are useful or harmful. So this one is useful group of microorganism, and this one is harmful group of microorganism. So just come to that, what useful role played by the microorganism. So here the both are going to explain in different groups. Like the first role played by it is in food processing. I can see that food and beverage industry. And beverage industry. Different kind of food, as I have given the example of bread and cakes. Is it bakery industry? And the beverage industry, different kind of drinks, alcohols and all. They are also formed by using certain microorganisms. Okay, especially some of the species of bacteria and fungi are used in food and beverage industry to prepare certain kinds of food and different drinks or beverages. Alright, the second useful role played by the microorganisms are in medicine and vaccines. To make different kind of medicines and the vaccines. You know very well the medicines and the vaccines, they both are protective, they both protect us from certain diseases. Is it not? You must have heard about antibiotics. Okay, when we fall ill sometimes, so doctor prescribe antibiotics. So mostly the antibiotics are made up of what? Certain microorganisms, especially with fungi. Get it? So to make different kind of medicines, and one of the very common example is what? Penicillin. Penicillin is an antibiotic made from the fungi Penicillium. The name of the fungi is Penicillium. Get it? Streptomycin. So these are the different medicines which are made by certain microorganisms. And the vaccines are also made by the microorganism. Especially the vaccines are given in which condition? In which kind of diseases? viral diseases, the diseases which occurs by viruses. Okay, so to protect them from such diseases, vaccines are given to the people, and this vaccine contains the same kind of microorganism, but they are not in their active form; they are in their inactive form. Get it? So the different vaccines are also made from different microorganisms. The next useful role played by them is agriculture. In the field of agriculture, microorganisms are also useful. You must have heard about the rhizobium bacteria, which are found in the root nodules of leguminous plant. Is it not? And they are going to do a very important role, that nitrogen fixation. Is it? Conversion of atmospheric nitrogen into soluble nitrogen that can be taken by plants to produce the protein. Alright. So just like that, the different kind of bacteria and microorganisms are there who are helpful in agriculture. Get it? They are also responsible for making compost and manures by decomposing the organic waste. Alright. And the next phase is there. Yes, cleaning the environment. As they are decomposing the waste material, garbage, so by decomposing the waste material, what they are going to do? They are helping to clean our environment. Think about that. If no one is there who will decompose the waste material, so what will happen? We have a lot of waste collected. Is it not? But it's not happen actually. They get decomposed by the action of different microorganisms. So by decomposing the waste materials, especially the organic waste, microorganisms also play the role to clean the environment. Get children? So these all are the roles played by the microorganism in our life. These all are the useful roles, beneficial roles, and the harmful as they are causing certain diseases in plants as well as in animals. Okay, so this disease causing nature of some of the microorganisms are harmful for us. Alright children, so this one is all about your chapter, revision of the chapter. I hope that you understood. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.